Hi, welcome back to Hassy Space Podcast. It's been a minute. How are you doing? I know I was gone for too long, but honestly, I am not sorry. I'm not sorry at all because the break was much needed. And this is me telling you that it's okay to take breaks every now and then. And if you feel burnt out, obviously, and yes, it's okay to pause while others carry on. Don't worry. The strength you've gathered while you paused will help you catch up even surpass them, right? So hellos and welcome to another brand new episode on Hass's Space podcast, your safe space for real talks about life, personal, career, and spiritual growth. I am Hasia and I would love you to subscribe to my podcast if you're new. You can also follow me on Spotify if that's where you are tuning in from. And with that being said, let's kickstart this episode. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and today's podcast episode is how to overcome procrastination and get things done. If procrastination had a face, it would be an ugly looking man who stalks everyone but somehow manages to make people his friends. That's how I see procrastination. Constant procrastination robs you of greatness and opportunities. It makes you lackadaisical and unreliable. And when you're known or tagged as someone who procrastinates, it never ends well because people won't take you seriously, and this will also cost you more than you can ever imagine. Let's not pretend it is not a pandemic. Oh. It is a pandemic because many of us unfortunately battle with procrastination, either for ourselves or when showing up for someone else. I battle with it every now and then, but I'm also someone who is very self-aware. And because I'm enthusiastic about personal growth and evolving generally, I like to take time to reflect and ask myself, what are we trying to overcome and deal with this time around? This really helps. Procrastination could be the reason you sent a mail minutes ago only to realize there is a big error. Why? Because you kept procrastinating it. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next week. I will do it next year. You get, and eventually the deadline came, pushing you to rush through it. And you know what happens when you rush? You make mistakes and sometimes costly ones. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that on Instagram where someone sent a mail to the HR and before they knew it, they were sending something quite embarrassing. It could also be the reason you got fired from your job. Yes, procrastination can do that to you. You were given a task and you kept pushing it for later. This could make your boss infuriated, see you as incompetent, and then fire you. It could also be the reason you never achieved your dreams or goals because you never carved out time to actualize the ideas in your head. You hide behind busyness as an excuse. It could also be a reason your room is messy and your dirty clothes are piled up in one corner. Why? Because you keep pushing it and telling yourself, I will do it later. I will do it later, not to worry. But then you did not do it and then they keep piling up and up. And I'm talking to you now. I know some of you are on this table. You don't need to pretend to yourself, right? And I'm not trying to judge you, but you know that I'm right. Some causes of procrastination could be that you're being used to the sudden rush of getting things done at last minute. You lack motivation, you have poor time management, you are depressed or you lack energy. You believe you work under pressure, delaying one task in favor of another, or simply not knowing how to do the task at hand. And there were times I procrastinated jobs because I was confident in my skills and believed I could get them done just before the deadline. So I focused on something else. It so happens that when it was finally time for me to do the job, I ended up falling sick. Honestly, it was so embarrassing. Other times it was light issues or insufficient data. And when I found myself in these situations, I regretted not doing the job earlier because starting on time would have saved me from unnecessary stress. You may think that, oh, you have the time in the world, you have the time in the world, but do you really have the time in the world or you're just in this delusional bubble that you've put yourself? You get? Because sometimes you feel like, oh, next week will be better to do the job. But then next week comes and things spiral out of your control. You're sick. You can't even pick yourself up to do things, right? Or it could be light issues. I mean, at this part of the world where we still battle with life, unfortunately, it could be that the time you now feel like you're ready to get that job done, never decides to be unfortunate. And then you're running helter skelter. Oh, you feel like peeing on your body because there's an anxiety, there's this rush that, oh my God, what will happen if I don't submit this on time? You get, and also other things like data subscription. You ended up using your data during the week, and then when it's time for you to do the job, MTN is telling you insufficient data, you need to recharge. What then do you do? Right? So there are also two major types of procrastination that I would like to talk about, and they include passive and active. Passive procrastination is when you delay a task because you don't know how to go about it, or things go out of or got out of control rather. And active procrastination is when you deliberately delay a task because you believe you work under pressure, quote unquote. That delaying it gives you motivation or a challenge. Let's talk about the types of procrastinator. There are different kinds of procrastinator, but I narrowed them into four. A procrastinator can be a warrior, a perfectionist, an overdoer, or a defier. A warrior in the sense that you're worried that you may not have what it takes to get that job, that skill, that task, or the dream or aspiration you've set for yourself to actualize, to come through. So you tend to shy away from the job, right? Pushing it to when you feel like, yes, I can do this thing. For a perfectionist, it simply means that you're waiting for the right time, or you're waiting for everything to be very much aligned, perfect to your taste, 100% crisp before you decide to do the job at hand, or before you decide to go for the goals or dreams that you set for yourself. An overdoer simply means a person that gathers a lot of things. You want to do this, you want to do that, a lot of tasks you keep attracting to yourself, or perhaps you're a kind of person that works in three different companies or four different companies, because that's the situation we are currently facing. And honestly, it's quite unfortunate. But then again, I understand this because sometimes one job is not really sufficient to foot the bills, right? But then again, you are faced with the situation of too many tasks at hand. And because they don't pass your power, right? You end up procrastinating some of them, right? Because you can't meet up. You can't meet up. You are burnt out. You are overwhelmed. And then a defier is simply the person that, let me put this in English. No be you go tell me what I go do. That's the kind of mindset they have. They don't believe in deadlines. They don't believe that they have to follow a due process. They believe that they have when they are given a task to do, they have to do it at their own convenience, at their own time, right? So in as much as procrastination is a general problem, I personally don't think we can completely eradicate it because we are human. And sometimes we just want to chill or are genuinely busy with other important things. But there are ways to overcome it for the most part and save ourselves from unachieved dreams and goals, termination letters, embarrassing mistakes, and a plethora of unfortunate situations. So I have with me, I think, let me check my notes. I have 5 tips, and I hope that by the end of these tips, or when I finished mentioning these tips, you will find them helpful, inshallah. Number one is self awareness. When solving a problem, you look at it from the root cause. So you know the basic, or the best, rather, best way to tackle it. Otherwise, you may end up throwing effort into an empty basket, because that's how I see it. Understand why you're procrastinating. I mentioned some types of procrastination earlier, so look at where you fall. Or better still, conduct your own research. Go for research on procrastination. It will broaden your understanding and help you become more self-aware. You must also you must also be open-minded and willing to work on it, because if you're not, it's a useless effort, if I must put it that way, if I must say, because at the end of the day, if your mind is closed off on working on this problem, how then are you going to prefer solution or embrace the solution to the problem? Then number two is time management. Time management is important. Sometimes we convince ourselves we are productive because we are always engaged in something. But are we really productive? Is it scalable, or we are just busy? Embrace the act of having a to-do list. And I don't mean putting it in your head or having a mental note on. I don't mean mentally, right? I mean writing them down or using your phone. These days, there are phones that come with note apps that you can use to write things down. So you break the job into parts or arrange them according to importance. Give yourself breaks so you don't get overwhelmed and resort to procrastinating altogether. Number three is productive reasons, your why. Understand why you must get a task done and why you shouldn't procrastinate. Why, that question or that word, why, is very, very important. That word or that question helps you to understand why you do what you do or why you should do what needs to be done, right? So ask yourself why. Understand why you must get a task done and why you shouldn't procrastinate. Are you trying to start a business, complete a task at work, finish writing a book, submit an entry for a competition? Ask yourself why. What is in it for you at the end? Your why would be your driving force. Whenever you find yourself procrastinating, cast your mind back to the reason and it will help you stay focused. Then number four is to eliminate distractions. This is quite crucial. You can follow the first three steps I mentioned, but if you constantly get distracted, you will definitely fall back into old habits. If you're trying to stay fit and have already paid for a gym membership or bought workout tools, make it difficult to access unhealthy snacks. Yeah, train yourself not to oversleep or set an alarm for gym time. If it's a task, stay away from social media and doom scrolling, or stay away from your bed that keeps calling you for a quick nap. This is how, or some of the ways to eliminate distractions, right? And then number five is encourage yourself. We work well when we are praised, no matter how small the praise is. It goes a long way. You are your biggest fan and motivator. So when you complete a task or tasks or make progress, reward yourself with kind words, a treat, or anything that encourages you to keep going. It's quite important as well. And yeah, there you have it. I hope this episode was insightful and motivating enough to help you face procrastination head on and knock it down. We are all learning and you don't have to be too hard on yourself. Take baby steps until you get a hang of it. This episode is a reminder to myself and to you. Before we draw the curtain, allow me to leave you with this quote on procrastination. If you wait until you are in the right frame of mind or the perfect time to do certain tasks, you will definitely or probably find out that the right time simply never comes and the task never gets completed. All right, buddies, it's a wrap. Leave me a comment if you found this inspiring or educating. Subscribe to my channel and give this episode a thumbs up. I'll see you on the next episode, inshallah. Bye.